the Halo series have been doing pretty you know, is there any other shows out there that you guys been like actually watching being like, yeah, this is a nice little sit down stuff besides the Halo? Is there a show out there that you guys been watching that you would actually recommend just in normal conversation?
Well, I mean, in normal conversation, because sorry,
You're good.
in normal conversation, I still follow The Walking Dead. I was into the series when it first came out on TV, and it's a show that got me into watching like hour-long dramas. I still like it. I've made peace with its limitations. I've always disliked the writing of the show. I always felt like if you read the comic books, characters are much more thoughtful with what they say. But when you watch the TV show, they act like the comic book characters. Like, I'm gonna go get some milk. Oh, where are you gonna get the milk from? Wherever it takes. A lot of people, they fell off the show at certain points, and for a lot of people, they don't actually get what the show is about, because they think it's just like, you know, a survival thing. When it's about, it's like a metaphor for the evolution of man. How like those first days of surviving zombies is just like our chaos era, where, you know, we're like cavemen and we're just slaves to the elements. And then over time we start creating little cultures, you know, get into the feudal age, and then builds up to like, you know, civilization again towards the latter end of the series. So there is a lot of depth and a lot of like morality and a lot of interesting themes explored in The Walking Dead. But again, it comes back to what we've just been saying about titles. When people hear The Walking Dead, they associate it with the kind of show that they got from the first and second season, whereas very much like they're on the runs. They're on the run. They don't have the runs, even though that would be realistic.
They're shitting themselves running from zombies.
Yeah.
They're like, ah!
A comedy zombie show where like, you know, everything is game. People get colds, or people get, like they get the runs, all of that stuff. So people they watched the first season and they thought that's what they were going to expect. And the show didn't really manage those expectations. If at some point when the show became a little bit more routine, where they weren't changing locations so often, and now it's more like they have their home and they're really just trying to hold it off from ever increasing threats. If they changed it to The Living Dead, which maybe they couldn't do for legal purposes, but that would have been actually a little bit more in line with how the show goes from that point. So, hey, if you end up liking it, you got like what, 11 seasons worth of content.
Yep.
I would space it out, because the more you watch it in blocks, the less the frights work. And you still get some basic catharsis out of it. Every episode, you get to see a few zombies get brained. So, you know, you get a little bit of that, like that release of just watching something get like clocked in the head. A little too much stabbing, not enough blunt force. I like seeing baseball bats. Well, one character has a baseball bat, so he covers the bases. Ha, pardon the pun. You know, I like to see more mallets. I'd like to see more planks. But a lot of the characters are always just like knifing people, and I'm like, that's not satisfying enough.
If I know they're
Oh,
pouring ammo for the guns out their ass.
Huh? Well,
I mean, they get to the point where they can make ammo, but it's always touch and go with guns in that show.
yeah, because they're always trying to sit there and be like, don't use guns, you can melee them. Okay, grab a bat. No, we're gonna somehow put a dagger in a zombie's skull and not worry about them fighting back, being like, we got this. I was like, okay, no, the machete thing made sense. You just go up and bam, try to hit. Like, I don't know. I feel like you, there was too much stabbing, especially in like the head. Too much stabbing going on.
Well,
there.
I mean, the head, it's rules of the zombies, right? Well, you got to stab them in the head.
Yeah, I get it, but there's just too much. It was too much of like the littlest of things being like, let's just stab him in the head. Like, I love when that one girl came in where she started just taking off the jaw of the zombie, and then being like, yeah. I loved when she came in, because they were like, just like, cool, let's use the zombies what they're good for. As pack meals.
Yeah.
It's like, carry my
There's one
shit.
character way down the line who has like a pair of I don't want to like mini axes. They have a little bit more curvature to them, almost like mini scythes. And he's like whirling death. He's like a dervish. He's fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
So if they had worked on more fighting styles, I think that would have helped the show out a lot too. Yeah. Other than that, that's really the only show that I'm like actively like engaged and watching on a week-to-week basis. I can't think of anything else, honestly. I consume so much YouTube stuff these days.
Fair. Charles?
I don't really watch anything outside of wrestling and NASCAR at times. Besides in the Halo series when I'm able to. I almost didn't even get a chance to watch the episode. I didn't get to watch till like last night, for crying out loud.
Yikes. Like, what do they come out, like Wednesday?
Thursday. They come out every Thursday.
Damn. By the way, this podcast is out every Monday. So when you're listening to this podcast, whenever, it is out every Monday and recorded the following Monday. So if something seems like, why aren't we talking about it? We record it the previous Monday and it's released on the following Monday. So that's when our
We'll work on
podcast
that,
is
though.
out.
Yeah, the
we'll
notification
work
for
on it.
last.
Yeah, we can work on that.
I seen the notification for last week's, and I freaking just want to. I have to watch that just so I can hear my rant about freaking first episode again.
What was the thumbnail of it? Wasn't it like a half-naked girl on the front?
Another?
I think so. I think I used her like 2 times on a thumbnail, but we get clicks, so I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing that you wouldn't see just going on Twitch for 5 seconds. Like we're gonna see.
Oh no, it's Tiny Tina's Wonderland in
No,
Master Chief.
that was today's. That was today's.
Yeah,
Not last.
and then the one
week's.
before that is Amaranth, which is totally
Yeah.
fair because it's
She was a moment of our podcast. But for yours
Is it
truly,
like a Photoshop picture of me slapping Paramount.
no, I'm not gonna do that. I will not do that. You're asking me to do too much work. I'm not a working man.
Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, and freaking just put my
Perfect
face
transition. There it is.
from my YouTube channel,
That wasn't
and
the
put the
transition I wanted.
freaking Paramount logo on Chris Rock. I just have it look like I'm slapping Paramount.
This is what I want you to do. I will do it if you make the thumbnail.
I don't know how to make thumbnails. That's your business.
And then you know what? I'm retiring, motherfucker. But no, we might. I don't want to overuse the meme. Like this is something I learned. This is something I learned throughout my time on YouTube. Don't put memes in your videos. This is why. You put a meme in your video, now you're putting that video to a date and time. So don't use memes in your videos. Don't use memes as your thumbnails. Don't use memes as like the premise of the video, because if someone comes back and watches it, even if it's mentioned on their TV, if the whole premise of why they clicked it is because of a meme, your thumbnail is going to die out through click-throughs within a day or two. That's why I won't do it. 100%. That's why I won't. But if I would have thought about it, might have at least did it for like an Instagram post. You know, it's just something.
I like every freaking YouTuber is bigger than freaking even your channel, Jordan. Freaking that uses memes like crazy in their videos.
you get certain permissions when you get to certain points.
Yeah, when you get to a certain point, you have that following that will just watch you no matter what, or you're just gonna end up. People are gonna know your content, be like, we don't care what. We just want to watch you. And
Yeah,
so,
or if your kind of content is the kind of content that like is expected to be viewed on the same day that it's released because it's so timely, and then by the time people are gonna watch the video, they've put out another 3, like either that week or even that day, depending on your on your creator of choice.
I know freaking people like some of the people I watch put like videos like almost every freaking day, every week.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you? I know this is another veer off, but did I ever tell you guys about like what's always kind of like grinding my gears about YouTube's video hosting? I'll try to be brief about it because I know we want to get to one chunkier subject, but because there's so much content that's transient, which is a smart way of saying it's not going to be relevant forever, and its relevancy diminishes pretty quickly. I always thought it would make more sense for the overall health of the website that those videos would actually just be deleted after a certain point. Keeps server hosting down, and people have an understanding that I'm creating content that is not going to last, so maybe the algorithm will be a little bit more generous to it. And if people want content that's more long form, that's meant to just stay and be evergreen, that can come at a cost. Not a substantial cost, like 10 cents a year. Just, it'll add up when you have like 100 of these videos, but some way to communicate very clearly to the system that the evergreens should have their own competition, and then I don't know what word to call it, because I don't like calling it burner content. To me, that's not good enough. Doesn't sound like it really respects the work that goes into it. But whatever word we're going to replace burner with at some point should have its own competition. The fact that evergreens and burners are in that same competition, to me, has always been like a weakness of any video platform, not just YouTube, but YouTube certainly the most prevalent in the space.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I think one of the big things that shows that example is like TikTok. And the reason I say that shows the example is a video won't go re-viral. There's such
Won't
thing.
go re-viral. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
And so if you make a video that hits 1 million views in 4 days, in a month from now, it's not gonna get it. It's not gonna get that views. Even if you repost like another version of it, it will not get that video to re-get views.
Yeah.
It
A little bit of that depends
burner.
on the video. Like if we're talking about titties, then a person will always go onto a TikTok page and scroll through.
Oh yeah, and that's when, but that would never be picked up by an algorithm though. It would never be like someone goes on there going, well, this popped up on my For You page 4 years later. It's like, they're not going to be slapping some 4-year-old titties. I'm going to rework. Okay, we're going to hold up. We're 4 years in time. Titties on the screen.
The best part was the slapping too. There had to be an action involved.
Edit that out and post.
We're just gonna cut them. No, I don't care. But leave the mistakes in because it shows your personality. But when it's all said and done, though, I definitely feel where you're coming from. There should be something on there that kind of awards you from putting that viral content out that was good then, and having it on a back burner. Like there should be some sort of reward for it instead of just. Hopefully you make it. Hopefully it doesn't just die out. But you also look at things like the Renegade. Would you watch a bunch of Renegade videos right now?
I still don't know what that is.
But
I don't know that creator. So, but what kind of content creator is Renegade?
I remember a wrestler that passed away years ago from suicide that used to wrestle for WCW.
I don't think that's it.
No, the Renegade's a dance move. But people doing the Renegade.
Oh,
those videos would not be relevant right now. Okay, the Harlem Shake.
Okay.
Let's go Harlem Shake. Everyone knows what that is, okay? Yeah. A video like that would not get views right now. But there should be something that rewards you in a sense of like, you made it. You did good then.
Well, this is why I love plugging Emperor Lemon, because as a content creator, he's so insightful. And when his videos come out, I watch it. But his work is historical in nature, so there's always a reason to go back to it.
Okay, yeah, and that's great. Now, to kind of wrap a little bit back into the movie side. Honestly, if I have to give any recommendations for movies or shows, recently on my spare time, I've been watching 2 things. I finished one, but Is It Cake? It should have been made whenever the whole like is it cake was happening, but it's a nice cooking show that has nothing to do with like actual who's the best cook. It's just a comedic cooking show, and I absolutely love it. And then there's another one called Good Girl on Netflix, or Good Girls, and no titties. I want to say that now. It doesn't have any titties in it, but there's some fucking. But it
sounds like a porn title.
It's actually it does sound like one. That may be why I watched it. But I started watching it because like drug lords and things like that, and I'm like, that always fascinated me of how people get away with like the drug stuff. So I was like, I want to learn. I want to learn for no reason specifically. I just
basically if Far Cry and Battlefield Hardline had a TV show.
Yeah, it's like I'm afraid to jaywalk, but some people can like live a life where hundreds of people die each day because of their actions indirectly. Yeah. Life is
Final destination.
Hey, that's something.